Hello. Welcome to the PMP course, Module 1, about the exam. At the end of this lesson, you should be familiar with the following topics: eligibility requirements, application process, maintaining the certification, exam overall perspective, exam questions, tips. Eligibility for the PMP credential has certain requirements of educational and professional experience. Candidates with bachelor diploma or equivalent are required 35 contact hours of formal education, and a minimum of 4,500 hours spent on directing project tasks. Candidates with a high school diploma or equivalent are required 35 contact hours of formal education, and a minimum of 7,500 hours spent on directing project tasks. All experience should have been accrued within the last 8 prior consecutive years. Visit PMI website for full details. Any difference between what is listed here and what is listed in the PMI website should be resolved in favor of PMI website. The Project Management Professional Exam online application process includes the following steps. Submit your application through the PMI website. PMI will review your application, verifying its completeness. Once your application has been successfully reviewed, you can submit payment of credential fees. A sample of applicants who have submitted payment will be selected for an audit. If your application is selected, you must send the required information to PMI within 90 days. Those who were not selected for an audit or have successfully completed it should receive an email from PMI confirming that they are eligible to sit for the exam within 1 year. The email should also provide detailed information regarding how to schedule the exam. Again, note that this information can change. Please visit PMI website for official and complete information. Once you attained your PMP credential, you must participate in Continuing Certification Requirements program to maintain an active status. The Pmp Certification Cycle lasts 3 years, during which you must attain no less than 60 professional development units, reaffirm agreement with Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, and submit certification renewal payment. The exam consists of 200 multiple-choice questions, to be completed within 4 hours. There is no negative marking, so you should attempt each and every question, even if you have to guess. Of these 200 questions, only 175 are testable. This means that there are 25 pre-test questions, which are only there to test the suitability of the exam question for future exam takers. Whether you get these 25 right or wrong will not matter. Unfortunately, you do not know where are these 25 questions among the 200, since they are spread all over the exam. Up to 2005, PMI used to publish the passing rates in the PMP handbook. It used to be 61%, but now PMI does not publish the passing mark any longer. To be safe, aim to go for 75% or higher to ensure success. The exam consists of 200 multiple-choice questions to be completed within 4 hours. This means you have an average of 1 minute and 12 seconds per question. You should be able to complete most questions well within 1 minute and 12 seconds. However, some questions typically require more time because they require diagram analysis. They require calculations. Their text is very long. In the exam you may find different question types spread randomly throughout the exam. Knowledge questions, knowledge application questions, and situational questions. Knowledge questions are typically the most straightforward, requiring you to identify a concept. An example of a knowledge question would be, which document is used to formally approve the project start? The answer should be Project Charter, because the Project Charter is the formal document that authorizes the project start and provides the project manager the authority to apply resources to project activities. Knowledge application questions require you not only to know the concept, but also to understand its multiple perspectives and applications. An example of a knowledge application question would be, which of the following is the most likely cause of experiencing constant scope changes? The answer could be, the project does not have an approved project charter. There are many potential reasons why a project could be experiencing constant scope changes, including the lack of an approved project charter. The project charter authorizes the project start. It also establishes a common project vision among stakeholders. Someone with enough authority uses the project charter to establish high-level objectives and project constraints. These objectives and constraints should provide a sense of direction and help to prevent erratic scope changes. Situational questions test which approach to adopt in specific project situations. An example of a situational question would be, how should the project manager proceed if the sponsor insists on proceeding with the project without a project charter? The answer could be, explain to the sponsor why the project charter is critical for project success. The justification for the question is that the project manager should adopt the right process, explaining in a pedagogical way the importance of having a project charter. The exam does not require much memorization effort. Expect few questions that require detailed process knowledge, and few questions that require formulas. The PMP certification exam can include questions that require you to have been there, have too much information, have unfamiliar terms, require understanding and not so much memorization, have an unfamiliar approach to a familiar topic. The exam tests your knowledge regarding initiation, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. Executing, planning, and monitoring and controlling are the most tested process groups. Closing is the least tested. The areas tested in the exam are, from hardest to easiest: procurement, risk, integration, quality, time, cost, framework, scope, human resources, communications and stakeholders. The process groups tested in the exam are from hardest to easiest: monitoring and controlling, initiation, executing, planning, and closing. The following list of tips can help you before the exam. Review topics in the beginning of each module. Attend the lesson, including process table, exam tips and memory aids. Complete the practice exercises. Use the key terms flashcards. Test yourself with exam questions. Review test results. Review and update your study notes. Go through each module at least 3 times. Complete the final integrated exam. The following list of tips can help you on the exam. Use the exam tutorial. Don't waste time. Mark a question for review when you are unsure. If you don't know, move on. Read only what is actually written. Answer from the PMI perspective. Read all answers carefully. Pay attention to words like never, always, first, last, most. Memorize formulas like earned value and net present value, as well as acronyms. Write down formulas once you begin your exam. There is always a right answer. Ignore irrelevant information. Look for the question inside the question.